remember our guest today as the straight-laced eldest daughter on the TV series Roseanne, or as the beautiful and sharp-witted Dr. Elliot Reed on the hit TV series Scrubs. We are thrilled to have her here for the very first time. I'd like to welcome Sarah Chalke to Sidewalks. Hey Sarah, it's so great to have you with us today.
Good morning, Cindy. Thanks for having me.
Now, I know that you are originally from Western Canada. What was it like for you growing up in Vancouver? Did you do a lot of acting when you were a youngster?
I loved growing up in Vancouver. I actually go back all the time still, even though I've lived here for like almost 9 years now, full time. But it was a great place to start acting because there's so much filming that goes on up there. So it was so nice to be kind of starting off in a much smaller pond and kind of being able to build a bit of a resume up there before moving down here. I got started actually in musical theater before I discovered that I couldn't sing, and my sister and I had auditioned for this theater class because it was going to be a performing theater class, so you had to audition. So her and her best friend and I auditioned, and they call our house and they're like, Natasha, you got in. She said, great, what about Sarah? And they're like, yeah, we don't want her. So she said, well, I'm not going to do it then. And they said, you're not going to do it. Well, we wanted you to be the lead. So they called back 10 minutes later and they were like, if you'll do it, we'll take your little sister as well. So my sister was like the lead in this play, and she was like this beautiful princess and had all these lines, and I was like wearing all black with a tiger mask, and I was like this in the background. And I was hooked. I was hooked from that minute on. I'm like, I love this acting thing. This is what I want to do.
You know, you've got a pretty amazing big sister. I think you owe her big for that one.
I owe her big for a lot of things, that my career being one of them.
Well, of course, I remember you first seeing you as the character of Becky Connor on the hit TV series Roseanne. That was just one of my very favorite shows, and it had such a great cast with John Goodman and Roseanne Barr. Did you learn a lot from them?
So much. I mean, I was such a fish out of water. Like, I got down here, I'd barely worked. I'd done a few small things up in Canada, and I would just stare at all of them in complete awe, you know, and watch what they would do with a script from Monday morning till a Thursday night tape night. And it was such an incredible way to get to start. I mean, really terrifying and so lucky and amazing, all kind of like combined into one. And I was 16 when I started. I remember when I came down to audition, my first audition was with Glenn Quinn, who played my husband, and I just thought he was the handsomest thing on the planet, and the entire audition was making out. I had to shake hands and meet him, and then literally the whole scene was like, baby, come here, and I'm like, get a job at the gas station. He's like, come here, and I'm like 16 years old, and he's 24, and I'm like, how am I gonna remember one single line?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I can't even imagine. Stressed out, kissing this person, holy cow.
Oh, God, and they had 7 of us Beckys all lined up in matching Becky outfits. They put us all in these Hawaiian Becky shirts and jeans, and then we just took turns doing this scene on the Roseanne set. It was on like the infamous couch with the blanket. I got there and I'm like, oh my God, it's the blanket. What am I gonna do? And then they had like a laugh track, and they had all the 4 cameras taping us to sort of try and implement all the elements that you would be dealing with. It was very scary.
Good Lord. Well, Scrubs, of course, has been a huge breakout hit for you. Why do you think that this show has become so successful? Because it's been around a while.
Yeah, we got so lucky. I mean, we didn't know, year after year, we were just always so shocked and surprised when we got to do it again, because we had so many different time slots and it was bumped around so much. I think that, you know, for me, I fell in love with it right when I read the pilot, because I just loved the writing so much. I think, you know, Bill Lawrence created such a great show, and he just had such an interesting grouping of characters, and I thought that what I loved about it was the line that the writers walked between the comedy and the drama, and that, you know, I think that's such a tricky thing for them to do, but that was my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
And then acting-wise, the funnest stuff to do is always the fantasy sequences, because then you got to kind of not just be your character, but be your character through JD's eyes, and, you know, do like a crazy burlesque dance or.
That's right. That's right. Well, it's such a great show.